In June 2022, Formula One made the exciting announcement that it would be bringing a Grand Prix race to the Las Vegas Strip starting in 2023. This set into motion a massive civil engineering and construction project costing over $500 million to transform public roads into a 3.8-mile race circuit running along the Strip and surrounding areas. It's an incredibly ambitious undertaking. Formula One tracks being built from scratch, in the middle of a living, breathing city that's open 24/7. The project involves extensive repaving, new bridges, underground utilities, safety barriers, grandstands, lighting, and more. The centerpiece is the stunning Paddock Building located just off the Strip behind Planet Hollywood Resort, at 3 football fields in length. This multi-story building cost an estimated $480 million to construct rapidly. It'll house team garages, suites, and hospitality clubs, and become the largest custom paddock facility in F1 racing. Overall, this is a monumental effort to engineer a world-class racetrack and one of the busiest pedestrian areas in the world. It's already caused major traffic disruptions that have frustrated tourists and locals alike, but organizers believe the estimated $1.2 billion economic impact makes it worthwhile. We'll have to see if turning the iconic Las Vegas Strip into a racecourse lives up to the hype when the lights go green this November 18th. The centerpiece of the Las Vegas Grand Prix is the massive Paddock Building located just off the Strip behind Planet Hollywood Resort. This enormous new facility will serve as the operational hub for Formula One teams and become one of the premier hospitality venues for attendees. The Paddock Building covers 39 acres and is a staggering 3 football fields in length. Constructed rapidly for $480 million, it'll be the largest custom-designed paddock facility ever built for an F1 race. The building needed to be completed in record time to be ready for the inaugural event in November 2023. That meant purchasing construction materials began even before a final design was finished to avoid supply chain delays. Inside ground floor garages that sit adjacent to the starting line, teams will have just 3 days to fully build out their workspace and construct 2 cars on site. The upper levels house the ultra-luxurious Paddock Club with fine dining and suites overlooking the action below. There's also the exclusive Wingrid Club, only accessible to members, which has an outdoor terrace at the first turn. The Paddock Building is designed to exceed the experience found at other F1 tracks around the world. Teams are given more space than required to make their Las Vegas accommodations unmatched. Storage areas are ample to facilitate the logistics of transporting tons of equipment. The 28,000 square foot video screen on the roof will be visible during flyovers, and there are several restaurants headed by celebrity chefs for fine culinary experiences. The goal is to make the Las Vegas Paddock Building the North American headquarters for Formula One racing. It establishes a permanent footprint and represents the city's commitment to a decade-long partnership with the racing series. Fans will get to rub shoulders with drivers and team principals as the open-air garages provide intimate access to the stars of F1. Corporate hospitality will be second to none, with lavish offerings like the Wingrid Club. One of the most vital components of constructing a Formula One track in Las Vegas is completely repaving miles of public road to create a competition-grade racing surface. F1 cars demand an incredibly smooth and grippy asphalt to reach blistering corner speeds of up to 212 miles per hour. This means stripping off the existing road and pouring new specialized pavement without a single ripple. Over 5 miles of the iconic Las Vegas Strip and surrounding roads need resurfacing to form the 3.8-mile circuit. The work involves milling out 5 to 10 inches of current asphalt and median removal in affected areas. It's been a major construction undertaking, closing multiple lanes and causing frustrating traffic delays for tourists and locals alike. The new racing surface is being laid with 2 layers. First, a thick base of dense pavement is poured that can withstand the punishment of F1 cars weighing over 1.5 tons each. This is followed by a top layer of proprietary friction course asphalt that provides maximum grip. The result will be an ultra-smooth, ripple-free track, allowing drivers to fully exploit the capabilities of cars engineered for downforce and high cornering speeds. The paving process has involved careful phasing and coordination with resorts to minimize disruption along the Strip. For example, milling and paving are avoided during hotel shift changes when traffic is busiest. Even with mitigation efforts, the roadworks tested patience as the city's easy navigation reputation has turned into gridlock. One upside is that the new racing surface is estimated to last up to 6 years before needing resurfacing, and it'll provide a noticeably smoother drive for locals long after race weekend. With the Formula One track closing major roads like Las Vegas Boulevard and Flamingo Road, a key construction challenge was building temporary bridges to maintain access and circulation. These spanned the race circuit, allowing resort guests, employees, and pedestrians to bypass blocked sections. In total, 3 bridges are being erected just for race weekend to connect hotels and casinos within the 3.8-mile track configuration. The longest is an 800-foot 4-lane bridge over Flamingo Road next to Caesar's Palace. This will keep guests and staff able to enter properties like Bellagio and Caesars while Flamingo's closed for the track. The bridges are prefabricated steel structures built off-site and require closing roads for installation. For example, the Flamingo Bridge will be lifted into place by a crane and take 8 days to construct and dismantle. The bridges represent a massive effort to allow the show to go on in Vegas, despite severed access from the track construction. Engineers face challenges designing temporary bridges able to handle heavy vehicle loads like fire trucks, not just pedestrians. The bridges have to integrate with existing infrastructure and consider ADA accessibility. And aesthetic finishing touches were added to maintain some Vegas sparkle. The works caused its share of headaches by closing roads for bridge assembly and disassembly. However, the structures are critical for limiting the isolation of hotels within the race circuit. They provide key connections for race staff, vendors, and emergency services too. The quick-build bridges illustrate the intricate planning and problem-solving needed to construct a Formula One track through the heart of a bustling city. There's always trade-offs when a major tourist area gets transformed into a race course, but the bridges help mitigate some of the most severe access disruptions. Their speedy construction and demolition will minimize long-term impacts, and their legacy will be keeping Vegas operational and connected even amidst the Grand Prix takeover. Constructing a Formula One track requires an incredible array of infrastructure from safety barriers to grandstands, lighting, underground utilities, and more. And building this infrastructure through the heart of Las Vegas posed complex challenges. Engineers had to inspect below-ground utilities along the Strip and determine what needed to be relocated underground. This meant disruptive construction to move power, water, drainage, and telecom lines out of the way of the new track surface and barriers. Safety is paramount, so miles of Tech Pro barriers are being installed along the circuit. These modular steel and foam constructions provide critical impact protection for drivers and absorb crash energy. They're customized with the Las Vegas GP logo and color scheme. For lighting, LED fixtures will be strategically placed primarily focused on critical corners and areas. This balances illumination for race night conditions while limiting excess glare on resorts. Grandstands and barriers separate fans from live racing. Structures like the Paddock Building VIP suites, concession areas, and media center all had to be constructed rapidly. Perhaps the most complex infrastructure project was installing the Las Vegas GP's 50-ton biggest sports TV screen atop the Paddock Building roof. Cranes lifted and assembled the curved 4K LED display spanning 28,000 square feet viewable from the air. The workload was relentless for contractors on the most condensed track build timeline yet. However, the expertise gained will provide valuable experience for constructing city street races long term. The intricate infrastructure turning roads into a racetrack shows what can be achieved through dedicated planning and vision when transforming an iconic place like the Las Vegas Strip. A project as massive as constructing a Formula One track through the heart of Las Vegas was never going to happen without controversy. The disruptions to traffic, commerce, and public access drew intense backlash and skepticism. Paving a competition surface along the Strip shut down multiple lanes and severed road connections between resorts. This turned the normally bustling but passable Strip into a snarled mess, with commute times drastically increased. Locals lamented the loss of their easy navigation as detours and closures became commonplace. Tourism revenue dipped as guests frustrated with gridlock canceled trips or shortened stays. Many questioned if holding a race in the middle of one of America's most iconic tourist playgrounds would be feasible. The preparations essentially allowed an outside sport to hijack Las Vegas and cause immense headaches for businesses and residents. There was also criticism regarding the use of public funds. Clark County had to partially finance roadwork costs to the tune of $40 million for a private event, and the Nevada Department of Transportation fast-tracked permitting despite objections. With mounting public pressure, Formula One and local organizers did aim to mitigate disturbances. Noisier construction work avoided overnight periods. Road closures were segmented, outreach to resorts in the community increased transparency. There was still plenty shouting Vegas should never be closed at the expense of an auto race. However, many became convinced that long-term tourism revenue outweighs short-term hassles. Now it's up to the Las Vegas Grand Prix to deliver an electrifying event proving the critics wrong. If 170,000 roaring fans lining the Strip under the neon lights isn't a spectacle befitting Vegas, nothing is. But it took immense vision and willpower to make this dream a reality against all obstacles. Turning the Las Vegas Strip into a Formula One track has been a huge civil engineering challenge, costing over $500 million. But the payoff is a one-of-a-kind racing spectacle that's expected to bring the city over $1 billion in economic impact. We'll have to see if the effort was worth it when the checkered flag waves this November. What do you think of this project? Let us know down below in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe.